All right. Hey, Justice League, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Suicide Squad. Guess what? They all stink. All right. End of the show. No, no, no. Seriously. Welcome to Hack Check Studios, you guys. RT Bear here. And we're going to talk about some stuff. But I just wanted to see what you guys think about this Zack Snyder Justice League. And we're two episodes into Winter Soldier. I guess it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then the Suicide Squad trailer has just dropped. And I wanted to see what you guys thought about that. And also to let you know, well, just to kind of get into what my thoughts are on this as well. So as always, sign of life. Let me know if this morning hullabaloo is getting out there into people's homes, in their homes. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. I know I did. We just kind of hung out, did some home stuff, and went out to eat. We got like the weekend's kind of date night. So we go out, we find a new place to eat, and we go out and have a good time. That's Pamela and myself. All right, man, there's a major delay on this. Good morning to you, the green laser. Hello. So we do have a sign of life, so I can continue. Yeah, I know I've been very outspoken about Zack Snyder's Justice League and just Zack Snyder as a creative person, and to be honest, I don't think he's that good. And I don't think he gets these characters, and I wish that he would stop. I wish that they would just shut him down. So the Snyder cut, as it were, I was done. I was done with Zack Snyder. I was done with Zack Snyder after Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was really, really bad. There was some major missteps, and a lot of them weren't the things that other people thought were bad. I thought the whole Jonathan Kent thing, and letting him die, Clark letting him die because he said so. It's like, don't save me, kind of thing. Don't give up your secret identity or whatever that BS was. I just thought, like, really, who could do that? Like that was the major misstep. This is why I don't think Zack Snyder is a human. I worked with Taylor Grosso here at the studio a year or so ago, and she used to call them lizard people that couldn't feel. They didn't understand like how humans act and how they interact with people. And so I was watching that, and I was like, who could let their father die? Who could, even if their dad was like, no, it's okay, and they're perfectly healthy, like you could save them and no one would know. You could use your super speed, run in, grab him out of the eye of the hurricane, and then get out of there. Like in a breakneck speed, before anybody could even blink their eye, you could save your dad and you could be done with it. But you have Jonathan Kent saying, no, I don't want you to give up your secret identity. And then poor Clark, being a good kid, wants to do what his dad says and tells him to do, so he doesn't save him. So I couldn't do that. Maybe I'm not as good of a person as Clark Kent. Maybe I would cross my father's wishes and not do that. But I couldn't live with myself. I would rather have my dad be angry at me and alive for the rest of his life than have him die in such a horrible way, and in a way that I could have saved his life. That's worse. That's horrible. And this is not a defining moment in the character's life. Like, this is horrible. That's an origin story right there. I know it was part of his origin, but it wasn't really what motivated him. He didn't hold true to his dad's wishes. His dad died. He still became Superman. He still did what his dad was trying to hide from, him from doing, sharing his gifts with the world and doing all that other stuff. I thought it was utterly ridiculous. I thought it was it was void of any real human understanding. I think when Taylor called them lizard people, I think Zack Snyder's a lizard person. I don't care. I know there are people that really do like him and think he's a visionary creator. I don't. I think his vision. I don't care. His effects look like bad video game effects. His art direction isn't that good. I think he has some good takes every once in a while on action and some of the story and character. But other than that, I really don't. I don't like anything that he does, to be honest. Oh, we got Drew with Comics Elite $4.99. Thank you. Hey, Art, we have an old Extreme Studios buddy, Marat Michaels, in our store this week. Too bad you can't be here. It would be epic. Where is it at? Fly me in. So what's your store? You should give me your store name and I'll give a shout out. So yeah, Marat's a good guy, and he does really good con drawings and stuff. I like Marat. He's a lot of fun. So in our store this week, yeah, give me the store, and I'll give you store a shout out. Thank you for the super chat. Spirits Car says howdy. Good morning, Artie Barrett. Man, I'm fired up already. Should have kept it as a heart attack. Yeah, because the heart attack, it's the one thing, like Superman couldn't save him. That was the point of before. Like he could do all this fantastic stuff, but he still couldn't save his dad. But that was more of like, he couldn't save him. He was having a heart attack. He couldn't do anything. But in the Zack Snyder, he could have saved him. So easy. It wouldn't even took any skill or time or anything. It's absolutely crazy. And then just to have died so horribly in a tornado, just torn apart and just busted up, absolutely shameful. Like if that was any human being, you would have nightmares for the rest of your life. That would haunt you for the rest of your life, knowing that you could save your dad and you didn't. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Like I said, unless that's going to be a crazy defining moment in the character's life, and that is going to haunt him the rest of his life, and that's what's going to motivate him, like Batman or something, then you do it. If not, I think it's really crazy. I had a solution real quick, and I know I've said it before, but I'm going to keep saying it because I think it's great. I think if you're going to keep that beat, Zack Snyder, if you're listening, if you're going to keep that beat, what you do is you have the dad, and you make sure it's freaking clear to the viewer. The dad is like, no, I don't want you to save me because you'll give up your secret identity. Oh, by the way, everybody at Smallville already knew that Clark Kent had super abilities because when he was a kid, he pulled that bus out of the thing. So they already knew. The cool part about what I thought there was going on in Smallville is that they all knew, but they didn't tell anybody, that they kept it a secret. So anyway, so the dad is like, no, I don't want you to give up your secret. I don't want anybody to know that you have these special abilities and that you're from another planet and all this other crazy stuff, right? So he's a protective father, whatever. I can understand it, right? At that moment. And so then the hurricane or whatever, the tornado happens, he gets thrown in the air, right? So now Jonathan's up, we have a shot of Jonathan just what it must be like to be in a hurricane, but just a split second of it, because I think you would probably get hurt really quickly. So he's getting sucked up, and as this is happening, he's yelling out like he wants somebody to save him. Like it's real clear that he wants somebody to save me. Like oh God, please somebody help me, save me. I didn't know what I was asking for. This is horrible, right? So he's saying this, and so either Clark hears it or he just knows that he has to save his dad. So it's just eating him away. He wants to honor his dad's wishes, but he can't not save his dad, right? So split second, boom, goes up, grabs his dad, brings him down into a field where the storm isn't anymore, and then his dad just holds on to him really tight, and he says, I didn't know what I was asking you to do. I didn't know, but now I do. Now I know exactly what you need to do. You need to help people just like you helped me. There are, millions of people out there that are crying for help. Just somebody, some kind of divine intervention to come in and save them. And you could be that person. You need to do this. So then it illustrates all the whole origin of like why he needs to do what he needs to do, and to move the story forward. But his dad doesn't die. You know what I mean? Like at that moment, he doesn't die. Which would be a nice twist, and you could still do the same idea, Zack Snyder, but you don't kill the dad because nothing happens. Nothing comes out of the dad's death. Nothing. Martha is without her husband. There's nobody to run the farm. It's horrible. It's really sad. It's really bad. Checkpoint, good morning. Jasper, what's up? No interest in the Justice League. I do not either. Past Master Dan, good morning, sir. Yeah, Texas is awesome. I just saw, was it? Peyton says, good morning. Let me see what you guys are up to. Comics Elite is in Indianapolis, Indiana. Very good, man. Erie, Indiana. That was a cool show. My daughter loved that show. It was like X-Files for kids. Spirits Car says, I do think that the Snyder Watchmen is good and adaptation as you could ever hope for. I agree. It's the one thing he did good. Also, 300 I think is overrated. I didn't go see it when it came out because I thought it looked like bad video game effects. Just the trailer I thought looked really bad. Victor Thomas says, howdy, Art. Amanda B. People love the Amanda B. Sketch Therapy says, Zack Snyder, if you're here, your vision sucks. Your dark side plot is terrible. Yeah, I don't think he gets superheroes at all. I think Zack Snyder loves all the dark stuff at DC. Those are like Elseworlds tales, like Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, those type of stories. But those aren't really the DCU characters. Those are Elseworlds. That's about it. I don't think you can have an ongoing series, like cinematic series, based on that darker stuff. I think those are kind of one and dones. I don't think they really have ongoing potential. So I think even that was a bad idea because I just don't think that they can go anywhere. The stories can go anywhere. But yeah, I just, as far as the Zack Snyder fan cut, or his Snyder cut, the only good that came out of all this is that they're saying that the fans won. So there's two things that happened. The fans wanted the Snyder cut, right? They heard that the whole thing was shot. They wanted the Snyder cut. So, they were very verbal about it. So that's cool. And then there's the whole thing with Warner Brothers and their parent company. And I forget the parent company now, AT&T, whatever it is. And they were like, they're getting a streaming platform going. They're doing all that. And so they're like, well, what can we do? What can we do to have impact on this thing? What kind of product can we create? And so I think some genius went, well, people want the Snyderverse. Let's do the Snyderverse. We'll give him, a couple $1 million. He can finish it up, and then we can have a 4-hour extravaganza kind of thing. And so that's exactly what they did. And I think that was good business. I think it was good business. And let me get this real quick. Drew with Comics Elite. I'd love to have you at the store here in Indianapolis and work with you. If you have an email address, hopefully we can discuss it. Oh, very cool. In the description, And you didn't have to pay me for that, but thank you so much for the super chat. In the description is my website, and you can go to the website, and there's a contact. There's contact info there, and you can contact me through the site. So very good, Drew, with Elite Comics. Thanks again. And so then you have like somebody that was paying attention to stuff at AT&T or whatever Warner's parent company was, and went, okay, this makes sense. Like we could launch our streaming with this 4-hour kind of big event thing, and the fans win, and then we win because we get product to show on our program, on our streaming platform. And so I thought, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So in that regard, the fans win, right? The fans win because that's what they wanted, and they got to see it. I, on the other hand, have only one interest in seeing it, and I probably never will. But the one interest is that I would like to see just a coherent story. And I assume that, 4 hours worth of story, he could actually tell a coherent story and possibly tie up some of the dangling plot lines that were in Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. Excuse me. But other than that, I don't really give a crap. I thought Warner Brothers' idea to lighten it up and to try to make it more user friendly, in my opinion, was a good idea. But they should have done that from the get-go. I mean, you can't polish a turd. You can't fix something midway through. They threw so much money at that Joss Whedon rework and all that. They could have just made a new movie. Just ridiculous. Just this goes back. I mean, I blame Zack Snyder, but this is really on Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers did not have a good overview. They backed the wrong horse. Zack Snyder was not the guy to create this universe. I never thought that from the very get-go. I didn't like the guy. I still don't like the guy. I don't think he's human. I don't think, the Geeks and Gamers thing. I don't think the guy is human. I think he's a lizard person. I don't think he knows like how to really interact with human beings, what motivates human beings, like any relatability. I just don't think his movies have that. Any relatability is incidental. It just happens, but I don't think it's him. And it's weird because I used to say this about Tim Burton. I used to say, well, Tim Burton's a good art director, but he's not a good story director. Like, so there are like artists, directors that are good visionaries, but they're just not good storytellers. And I don't think Zack Snyder is either. I don't think he's a good storyteller, and I don't think he's a good art director. I think he might be able to tell good like horror stories or dark stories, but Tungsten says, "LOL, lizard person." Yeah, they're just not warm-blooded, man. They're cold-blooded. Yeah. I think all the worst with that guy. I just I don't think he knows what it's like to be a human being. But anyway, so that's my Justice League. Everything stinks, right? So, and just to back up for a minute, I don't want these things to suck. I want a great Justice League movie. I freaking love the Justice League. I love all those characters. I want a good movie. I want a good Wonder Woman movie. I want a good Flash movie. I want a good Batman movie. I want all that stuff. So this isn't me just bagging on it because, I hate superheroes or I hate these characters. It's quite the opposite. I just want to see him done right. I just want to see him done well. Like to be honest, Shazam, I didn't even care for that. I thought it was okay. I thought Aquaman was okay. I thought the only movie that DC did that connected with me was the first 2 acts of Wonder Woman. And even that wasn't great, but at least she felt like a caring, compassionate human being. Like she felt like a real person. Like the character felt it felt like it was developed. What's his name? Steve Trevor, felt developed. Like the first two acts of that movie were really good. The last act, I always blame Zack Snyder for the last act because it becomes the Snyderverse. Everything becomes really bad CGI. The villain's comical. Like he thinks it's more realistic, but it's asinine. I don't know. I just think it was bad. The plot for Shazam also made no sense. I don't. There's not very many. Like I said, the only thing that I really like that DC has done is the first two acts of Wonder Woman. I thought that Man of Steel had potential, but it never lightened up. Like it never, like the end, it never changed. It never shifted tone. It was still very, very dark. And, the S stands for hope, but I didn't see him inspiring anybody. And I don't like when they say, oh, Superman is like he's like Christ, he's biblical, he's whatever. I don't like that. He's a human being. Like when you start playing the God aspect, you disconnect instantly. Don't let other people like that are in the story go, oh, he's like a god or whatever, but don't have the character act that way and don't present it that way because it's very off-putting. It really is. And I'm not trying to bring religion into it. I just think that he should just come across as like a caring human being. That's it. A very compassionate person, not like, oh, like those pretentious, like he's up at the sun and he's backlit and all this stuff. I think it's a crazy disconnect. I don't care for it. Let me see. I disagree, Art. Tim understands story, but does need good writers to collaborate. Okay, well, yeah, Big Fish. I'll tell you, yeah, Ed Wood. Yeah, there are exceptions, but most of those are like smaller films, like Nightmare Before Christmas. I think Disney didn't really know what to do with it. I don't know what it was as far as the box office, but I think it's done well later. Ed Wood, I think, was like a smaller movie, and Big Fish, I don't think many people even know about Big Fish. I would say that Big Fish is Tim Burton's best film ever. I love that movie. I love the metaphor, the big fish. Like I once caught a fish this big, where it's an exaggeration of the fish you actually caught. I thought it was really good, but I don't think he wrote it. He might have co-wrote it, but yeah, I do agree. There were some exceptions, and I should say that when Tim Burton does have a good script, or where the studios really have heavy hand, like this is the script, shoot from the script, that type of thing, he can do good work. So I have other things that stink. So the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I wanted to talk a little bit about. So we're going to change gears here a little bit. We're going to stink up the place with yet another turd. I shouldn't go that far. Actually, for me, Winter Soldier was more of just kind of like it didn't seem like it was like connected or that it was even, I don't know. It just seemed like they just phoned it in. It didn't seem like it had an interesting point of view. It didn't seem like it was really going anywhere. The questions didn't seem interesting. I guess the whole thing on Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be like, who's going to pick up the shield, right? Who's going to take up the mantle of Steve Rogers? So, okay, fine. that's going to be the overarching like question, right? But for me, there's only one answer, and there was only one answer in Avengers when Steve Rogers gave the shield up. He gave it to Sam, but I was like, what's Sam going to do with the shield? One of the things is you have the shield, but you're also a super soldier. It's a combination. And it's like, for me, the shield is like Thor's hammer. You have to be a superhuman to even use the shield, to throw the shield, to use it, to hold. You're also like, I know there's the vibranium, but you're also taking, you're taking impact. So if you're a normal human being and you're holding a shield, I think maybe, a smaller caliber or something like that, it'll bounce off. But I think you have to be superhuman to hold the shield too. That's always been my thing. Like, not anybody could be Captain America because Steve Rogers is Captain America, and it's because he's a super soldier. That's it. Super soldier, shield. That's it. That's the equation. There is no other equation. A human being cannot hold that shield. A human being cannot throw that. How would a human being throw the shield? It's not a frisbee. The fucking thing weighs. It can't be light. I'm sure it's not crazy heavy, but to a super powered person, it would be like a frisbee. But to us, I think it would be hard to just pick up. But they kind of have people just pick it up and stuff like that. I don't think it would be like that. That's just my take on it. I think you'd have to have a certain level of strength just to be able to pick it up and take the impact of a blast, a gunshot, whatever it is. And then to throw it, how the hell would a normal human being throw the shield? I know that we have to suspend disbelief when we watch these superhero movies. I know that, right? And I'm willing to do that. But you have to have it somewhat believable within the reality that you created. You created a super soldier that holds a shield. So anyways, if you didn't watch, there's 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And so the beginning of it, the Falcon gives up the shield. He gives it to the Smithsonian, and they put it in a museum, and then that's it, right? So he's going to live his life. And so then, they cut to the Winter Soldier, and Bucky Barnes is trying to get his life together. He's got a multitude of sins in his past. He's in therapy. Fine, whatever. And so that's kind of where we leave the characters. That's how we start the story off. And so then, this is spoiler alert, whatever, but spare yourself. I mean, it might pick up, but the first 2 episodes, I don't think have any promise at all. At least like WandaVision, I thought the first 2 or 3 episodes were kind of slow, and I didn't really think that they were that great as far as shows. But I thought the idea had potential. I thought the idea of this sitcom and all that other stuff, I thought it had potential. So I was intrigued with the premise. So that's why I kept watching. And at some point in the middle, it did get better. I thought the end was pretty bad, but like the middle part of WandaVision was good. So this still might build to something, but based on the way it started, which is the question of who's going to be Captain America, who cares? I don't care. There's only one answer. There's only one answer. And I'll argue this with anybody in the chat. And I'll argue this with anybody. I know I sound like a major geek right now, but I don't care. I'm passionate about comics. Especially Captain America and Batman, who were like, they were the characters when I was a kid. So, okay, Bucky Barnes he's a super soldier. He's super strong. He also has like a bionic arm. Okay, so the first time you see him in Winter Soldier, the Captain America, he catches the shield. That was supposed to have impact, right? Who could catch the shield? Who could do that? Not a human being. It cut their hands right off, like that scene in what was it, Thunderdome or whatever, that guy reaches up and there's the what is it called? Boomerang. It cuts his fingers off. Mad Max. And so, yeah, so when he catches the shield, you're like, holy shit. You know what I mean? And then you go, well, this guy's a worthy adversary. He could catch the shield. He's a worthy adversary to this super soldier, right? What's his name? Barack. What is his name? What was that character's name? The French guy that's in the opening scene on the ship. Oh my gosh, was it Batroc? Batroc the Leaper. I knew I'd call him. Like these aren't real adversaries for Cap. He's a super soldier. You know, he has to fight superpowered people. Unless he's fighting an army or, you know, where there's a lot of people, then it makes sense that he's superpowered. And that's a foe worth fighting. So anyway, I'm trying to tease this because there's only one answer, and you guys already know the one answer. The Batroc, the Leaper, yeah, is. Thank you, by the way, Past Master Dan. I like I like art rant mode. Well, you're gonna get it because we still have one more movie to get into after this. Okay, so I'm just going to say it's Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes is the only one that could be Captain America. The only one that could pick up the mantle of Captain America. That's it. That's it. Okay, so what? We're going to see a whole mini series based on who's going to get the shield? There's only one answer. Sam cannot do it. He's not super powered. Like, I thought what was really cool about like when they brought Sam into the Captain America stories is that he knew who he was. He knew what he was. He wanted to help. So he helped in a way that made sense, things that he could do. And he was invaluable. Like, they showed him time and time again how well he helped out Captain America. But he is not Captain America, and he could never be. And he knew that. So I think it is good that he rejects the shield, because it's the only thing that makes sense. He would be killed. His first mission, he would be killed if he tried to be Captain America. Bottom line. That's it. He's just not super powered. Okay. So then, like I said, Bucky Barnes is the only one that makes sense. Series over, it's done, right? Like, who didn't see this coming? The only problem is Sam. This is why it becomes a little bit of a dilemma, but not really, because Sam has the morality. Sam has the heart. He would make the right decisions. He would be the moral equivalent to Steve Rogers. But you have Bucky Barnes, whose brain has been scrambled. He's deranged most of the time. He's not stable. Like, you don't necessarily want to give him the shield, but he could do it regardless, with or without the shield. He's still a superpowered character. So if he was going to go off the rails with or without the shield, he could still do it. You know what I mean? The only thing is you would be maybe tarnishing the legacy. Falcon is better as the Falcon. I agree. And when you start doing stuff like this too, you devalue the Falcon character. Oh, he shouldn't be the Falcon. He should be Captain America. No, the Falcon's badass. I think he should be the Falcon. Bucky Barnes is the only one also that doesn't have an identity. He doesn't have an identity. He's been a villain. The Winter Soldier is still a label. That's a bad guy's name. That's not a good guy's name. He still has to, he has to ditch that Winter Soldier name. The title is Falcon Winter Soldier. The Falcon's a hero. The Winter Soldier is not. So you create a redemption arc. Actually, you don't even have to create the redemption arc. It already exists. They've already done the redemption arc. What you have to do is you have to get this guy to a place that he morally can make the right decisions. You don't second guess him. He'll never be Steve Rogers. He'll never lead the Avengers. He's not qualified. There's only one character that they've established in the Marvel universe that could lead the Avengers, and that's the Black Panther. He's the only one that has, I think, the moral center and has the leadership qualities to lead that. And they can't really do that because, sadly, that actor is gone. And what a loss! That Chadwick Boseman, holy shit, man, what a find! I mean, he's the equivalent of the actor that played Steve Rogers, Chris Evans, and the other Chris that played Thor. Like, there are two people that they cast so perfectly. Well, three with Iron Man is Tony Stark, or what is his name, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and Chris Hemsworth. You can't get any better than that. And then that Chadwick Boseman, perfect. The perfect four characters, perfect four Avengers characters, but the only one that's really worthy to lead is the Chadwick Boseman Black Panther. That's it. But anyway, so back on Winter Soldier, I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, Bucky was Steve's old. That's where I was going. Yes, he has the morality. The morality is there. He has that. It's just scrambled. He doesn't trust it, which also makes a very complex character, where Steve always made the right decisions. You have a character that aspires to it and can do it, but he has this faulty wiring. So he's a flawed character. He's also a man at a time. He has all the qualities of Steve Rogers, but he has that one additive. He's damaged. Steve was not damaged. Steve doesn't have that dark place. This guy does. So also, this guy has an experience and has something that he can bring to the table that Steve couldn't. He understands that mindset. He was that mindset. He understands the dark side. He understands the dark side of being Captain America. So like I said, there's only I bow to your geek knowledge. What was the checkpoint? What did he? Yes, the Falcon would die catching the shield. Exactly. Okay, so I said that. So to me, there's only one answer, right? And if this is going to connect with people in any real way, that's how it has to end. That's it. That's how it has to end. Okay, so what they do is, in this show, I don't know where this is going. I don't. And to me, it's not even intriguing. It's asinine. I guess the government of the United States of America in the Marvel universe decides the world still needs a Captain America, right? So there's this military guy. I guess he's part of the comics. I don't know. They kept dropping his name. I don't even know who this character is. To be honest, I don't like any of those ideas where there's another Captain America. I think they're all lame. I think I've said it before. I think almost there's very few exceptions. Any character that then becomes the other character, I think, is bad. When you have somebody that can become Iron Man, you have someone that can become Captain America, you have another person that can become Thor. These ideas, I just think it neuters the original idea. If Steve Rogers is Captain America, then if you have anybody, then why is Steve Rogers important? Why is he interesting? Why are we telling his story? If Robert Downey Jr., if anybody can be Iron Man, not Robert Downey Jr., I'm sorry, Tony Stark. If anybody can be Tony Stark, then who gives a shit? Why do we care about Tony Stark? It's Tony Stark's story. There's only one Iron Man, and it's Tony Stark. That's why we're telling that story. That's why we're not telling these other stories. create another character, but don't. I mean, like I said, there's very, very few exceptions. It seems like it's a comic book trope. Like eventually every superhero will have somebody else that becomes them at some point. I don't find it that interesting. I just think it's a cop out, to be honest. So you have this other guy that's sanctioned by the government to become Captain America. One, he looks really weird in the helmet, like his ears stick out too far. It's like, yeah, I'm Captain America, I'm Monkey America, and it's just weird. He doesn't look that cool in the suit. Maybe that was the point. I don't know. So you have the Falcon and Winter Soldier. They're kind of, it's like a buddy. They're turning it into like a buddy film. You know, it's like Lethal Weapon or something like that. So these guys are going to go out on a mission. They don't like each other. It's all that kind of stuff. We ain't brothers, we ain't friends. What was that movie with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy? You had that kind of uneasy alliance, kind of thing. And so you're moving it forward. It's a buddy film. So they're going on their first case together, right? And but is this character a U.S. agent? And if he's stronger than Captain America, then that makes sense. If he has superpowers, but they haven't said that this guy has superpowers. They're making it seem like he's just a normal guy. 48 hours, yeah. So thank you though, Jeff Potts. And so you have this guy become Captain America. So you have Bucky and Sam. They're on their first mission. They're kind of getting their ass kicked, right? So then Captain America, the new Captain America, swoops in with his new sidekick, the Falcon. They come in and they help out. They still end up all getting their butts kicked, right? But I guess they would have really, the Falcon and Winter Soldier would have really got their butts kicked if Captain America didn't come in and help them, right? So then you have Captain America, this new Captain America, taking lead on this, and so he starts barking out orders and all this other shit, and it's like, really, dude? I would be humbled in the presence of the Winter Soldier. How dare you? This guy fought in wars that are nothing compared to what you did. He's seen shit that you will never see. He has done stuff that you will never do. Like that guy deserves your respect. And so he's like, I'm going to bark out orders. I'm going to tell you guys what to do, all this other stuff. It's like, no. I think I did. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I think I did a story. I did a run on Captain America with Dan Jurgens, and I think we did a run, and the character was that U.S. agent. So I think when you have all these people becoming super soldiers, once again, why is Steve Rogers important? If anybody could get the super soldier serum and do what he does, then why is he that important? Like, they made a point in that first Captain America movie and in the comics that he was chosen. He was chosen for his morality, for his ability to do the right thing. He wasn't going to abuse the power, all those things. So that's what makes him important. That's what makes Steve Rogers a good Captain America. It's for no other reason. It's why is Clark Kent Superman? Clark Kent is Superman because he has that morality, that Midwest, Jonathan and Martha Kent morality, and he won't waver from that. So you could give him the power of a god, and he'll do the right thing with the power. So people that created these characters understood that. All this other stuff, I don't know. He doesn't in the show, but yeah, it's John Walker, the guy who took over and later became U.S. agent. Yeah, I thought the John Walker thing. I sometimes I I have so much, knowledge of this stuff that I forget half of it. Let's see what Baz says. Falcon and Winter Soldier is Disney-fied woke BS. WandaVision was disappointing. It's very easy to avoid Disney this year. Yeah, I have Disney Plus, and this is not an excuse because I actually do watch some of the shows. Some of them are okay, but actually I can't name any of them. I watch mostly like the documentaries, like the behind the scenes stuff of like the making of like animated shows and the Disney parks and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't really watch the shows. I did watch WandaVision. I think that's the only one that I've seen. Oh, and The Mandalorian. I thought The Mandalorian was pretty good. I thought The Mandalorian worked because I don't think it tried to be anything more than it was. I think it stayed true to itself. It was a pretty simple premise, and it stayed there. But yeah, my daughter Amanda got me the Disney Plus for I think for Christmas. It was a Christmas present. She says I'm hard to shop for, so that's cool. What? What about Falcon Winter Soldier, aka Super Brokeback Mountain? I don't know. Like some of their arguments, some of the stuff seems very contrived. It didn't seem good. John Walker is Marvel's answer to Guy Gardner. So is that it? Is like that John Walker? He's just kind of an unlikable guy. Is that where they're going with it? Because at first they tried to make him like, oh, I'm not real sure of myself. Can I hold, up the shield? Can I be, Captain America? All that kind of stuff. And so then by the end of the episode, or by episode 2 or whatever, he's like barking out orders to these guys, which I thought was just bullshit. I use my sisters. Yeah. And I completely understand if people want to boycott Disney. I think it's mainly coming from the Gina Carano stuff. We all do what we feel is right. So I don't, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. To be honest, I don't have any streaming subscriptions. So if my daughter didn't get me this, I probably wouldn't even have that. Yeah, but it is what it is. We might have to just go, well, we got one good season of Star Wars Mandalorian and just be happy with that. Okay, so Past Master Dan is saying that John Walker's an ass. Well, yeah, they're building him up to be that way. Let me see. They didn't do any building of the foundation of Sam and Bucky's relationship. Yeah, I think what they're doing is they're trying to do one of those, like, they have a past together, but they never really got along too well in that past. And so then, after the snap and everything's trying to get back to normal, we're going to throw these two characters back together, and it's going to be like the odd couple, and they're going to have to get past their differences to do the right thing, kind of thing. The show's a mess. The show is just uninteresting. Like I don't know where it's going. There's other than the promise of one of them's going to be Captain America. I don't think there is a show. I don't think there's anything interesting about it. I thought the villains were lame. I hate the cop out. Like Marvel, Disney does this all the time, where the villain is the same as the hero, so they just fight each other. So Super Soldier against Super Soldier, the Hulk against another Hulk type character. Iron Man fights another Iron Man. It's always like the same. They just fight the same villain. Black Panther fights another Black Panther. Like that's all these shows are. There's a bunch of villains out there, and the only good villains that they do is like Thanos, and they do them over a course of establishing over all those movies. But other than that, I thought Baron Zemo was what was that Winter Soldier? Which one was that? Civil War. Civil War. I thought he was pretty good. I didn't think he was anything like the Baron Zemo in the comics, but he was a smart guy, and he wanted just to have the Avengers turn on each other, and it worked. And I thought it was, for the most part, it was pretty believable the way he did it. So let's see what Chris Neville says. U.S. agent will do what he's ordered, no questions asked. Okay, so he's a no-nonsense guy. That's cool, but he's not super-powered. To me, if he was super-powered, I think it would be more interesting. And also, I think to make this work, this is what I would do. I would have made U.S. agent a super soldier, if that's what you have to work with, right? As a writer, as a creative person, that's what you have to work with. Make him super powered, so at least you can believe that he can do the things that he's promised. Also, I would have him turn bad. I would have either he's part of that organization, but he's running it from, like clandestinely, running it in secret. And then our government mistakenly believes this guy and trusts him. And so then, the irony of it was like this guy had all the checklists, right? Like U.S. agent had all the checklists, right? Perfect this, perfect that, all the stuff, right? And Bucky Barnes doesn't have any of them. Doesn't have any of them, right? But when the series ends, you realize that Bucky Barnes is the better choice to be Captain America than Chris Walker, especially when you say that Chris Walker was a bad guy. So, you can't always judge a book by its cover, redemption arc, and he takes down the Captain America that was sanctioned mistakenly by the government. So then you show like the government's flawed, which they are, and then you show that this U.S. agent is the real villain and a worthy opponent to the Winter Soldier. Everybody else so far is stupid. If you had Captain America against those guys in the series, he would have rang their bell. It would have been over. Even if they were super soldiers, they weren't as strong as he was or is. Also, in the series, they act like Steve Rogers is gone. Isn't he still alive? He's an old man, but isn't he alive? Like, wouldn't you think like at some point you would go and say, why did you pick me? Like, wouldn't Sam go, why did you pick me, Steve? Like, I'm not a super soldier. I'm not any of these things, and wouldn't you think that Bucky Barnes would still hang out with him? Like, they're best friends. Steve Rogers still alive. Wouldn't he like have the house right next door to him and hang out with him? He's the only one also that has a past with him. So, the ambiguously gay duo. I don't think they're gonna make them gay. Checkpoint. John Walker was part of a government super soldier program to replace Captain America. All right. Make him part of the super soldier program, unless they're going to like later say, oh, he is a super soldier, which I don't know how that would pay off. I think that would be dumb. Like, oh, guess what? I'm actually a super soldier. And we're supposed to go, oh shoot, Chris or John Walker was a super soldier. Everybody in the comic already knew that. He's a total jerk and was too brutal for Steve. Yeah, I think I did a story with the John Walker, the U.S. Agent or whatever his name is. Steve Rogers fought to get the title and costume back. So if you think about it, what I just said works with what Checkpoint said. So it's not Steve Rogers, but it will be Bucky Barnes fighting to get the title. And he'll have to earn it. He'll have to fight to get the title, which is better than just having it bestowed on him. Like, oh, now you're Captain America. Like, if he has to take down Captain America, it's like for the old for the new to rise, the old must die. So he's coming in, he's taking down the old king or the really corrupt king, the bad king, and then he becomes the king. I don't know if that analogy worked or not. No, I never did. Sketch therapy. Falcon already has the shield in the next episode. Well, I think they're probably going to try to throw some detours. I think what they're going to have to show is that he can't really do it, because I think it's better to show it than to say it. But once again, I don't know. Like, I think this is where they're going to go with the show, and if so, I already know how it's going to end. Like, all of us already know how it's going to end. So who cares? Like the WandaVision, I thought the misdirects and stuff were interesting enough, but I had already figured out what was going to happen from the beginning. So it wasn't like there was like a really cool payoff. So I guess we got a cool, like, once again, Vision fighting the Vision. Like, everything is the same. Like, oh, we're going to have the hero fight a villain, doppelganger. It's like, who cares? Well, so the Falcon has a shield. Okay, so then my last, and I'm going to play this for you guys, and it shouldn't take long. I know I'm getting actually, my wife and I were talking about this, and we brought up this old, like, I think it's hilarious, like diarrhea of the mouth, and it's constipation of the brain. So I got diarrhea of the mouth right now. So let's see. I'm going to try to play the trailer and see if we can do this. So I'll play a little bit, and then we'll talk about it, because I only saw the trailer once. So this is the Winter Soldier. This is Suicide Squad, the trailer for the upcoming movie. And what is this guy's name that directed this? Let me see if there's any details. I forget his name now. Gunn. James, is it James Gunn, the Guardians of the Galaxy guy? So when you watch this, you realize it's James Gunn.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat. We don't leave one of our own behind. Hopefully Harlan's still alive.
See, it's the same banter as Guardians. I'm going to play a little bit more, but the character designs and the costumes look really hokey.
These are dangerous people.
You two is clear to go. Bye.
He's got like a motorcycle helmet on. The other guy has a chrome helmet.
What are you guys doing?
I thought that was pretty funny that she's already saved. She saved herself.
You, what we're here to say to you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's correct.
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Look.
The dude's got a motorcycle helmet on and a wife beater. This is what they expect you to pay the big bucks to go see. This is the art direction. When I go see a movie, I want art direction, man. I want cool design. I want costumes. you know, or uniforms. I want something cool. This looks like a made-for-TV movie. Okay, and then James Gunn brings in his standard music, you know, like Guardians jukebox kind of thing.
Know the deal. Successfully.
All right, we've never seen that before. He's got the reflexes.
Complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence.
All right. So this is just a joke. All right, we got a cool actor here. I don't know what character this is. I watched the early Suicide Squad, or read the early Suicide Squad when they first came out with the book, but I don't remember this character.
Fail to follow my orders in any way.
I like the actor. I forget his name. He's really good. So he was in Guardians too.
And I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
Okay, so they're setting up the premise. They have to do what they have to do, otherwise their heads are going to explode. So they really beefed this old man up with some padding and stuff. He looks pretty good, though. I think he has the intensity to pull it off. God, what is this actor's name? I forget.
This is the famous Suicide Squad.
Look at these. Look at these designs. I'm sorry, man. It just looks. Look at, there's like this rat walking along. What's this guy? I don't even know who these guys are. Okay, at least this starts looking big screen worthy. Oh no. Oh no. How do you make this work? How do you make it work? You edge it up. He actually eats somebody. Okay, so we got a shark man. I'm telling you, this is going to have to be exceptionally, the premise is going to have to be exceptionally good, and the characterization is going to have to be amazing to pull this off. Because so far, it just looks like the Guardians with bad makeup effects and costume design.
Any questions?
Because I think, look at that. Look at that. Is he Peacekeeper? This looks like it could be from 1970. Like, this is really bad. I don't think this works. Like, come on, hire some people to do some, spend some money, get some character, designers in here, and make this stuff work. Holy shit. Like, I wouldn't even watch this if it was on TV and it was free. This is really bad. Oh my goodness. So this guy is pretty funny. He was in Ant-Man. I thought he was good. And he's supposed to be a silly character. So I think if you're supposed to be a silly character, it kind of works. But I don't think Peacekeepers, I think he's supposed to be like the Punisher.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, context is everything. So if they can make the context work and they can make the character work, then maybe this shark guy will actually work. I don't know.
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
We're all gonna die.
And then, yeah, then the most obvious line, we're all gonna die. Oh my gosh. I've heard better dialogue in live streams.
I hope so.
So that's the twist. The twist is I hope so. Okay, so it's the cliche line with the I hope so. Look at these costumes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All right, so now it's edgy. He says for F's sake. This is a cool shot. I like this.
Here's the deal. We failed the mission.
I kind of like that guy for some reason. Maybe it's just the actor.
You die. We find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you...
Okay, like I said, if you're gonna get weird and and silly, get weird and silly. This guy actually works. I don't know. Maybe there's just a context. Like this guy with this shark in the background actually works for me. I don't know. There's just something that's not coherent about this, or cohesive, I should say.
You have personalized license plates. You done it.
So it looks like she's playing it up a little bit crazier.
No.
If you cough, is that covering your mouth?
Hardly, although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
All right, now we're getting to the epic movie scale stuff here. So yeah, this looks like it's starting to get worthy of a big budget.
What? How much was...
All right, who is this guy? Some generic army.
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
Look at that. You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive. This could be Guardians of the Galaxy dialogue.
I decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
See? They hired James Gunn. DC hires James Gunn to do a Guardians movie with Suicide Squad. Holy shitballs. Like, I don't know. I thought Guardians was good. I thought they understood that they were kind of goofier characters. And what made that movie, for me, the first one especially, was the art direction. That movie was freaking amazing looking flick, right? So you put these really weird characters in an already weird environment, and the designs are great, the makeup's great, effects are great, right? So you have, all of a sudden you have a modern day Star Wars. You have this great kind of universe, world, everything, and it all works. This doesn't. I think like DC has stuff that should be very very kid friendly. Like I think Shazam should be very kid friendly. Aimed at children, young children, like based on what it originally was, built for, designed for, created for. I think Suicide Squad should be an R-rated movie. I think this should be really edgy. I don't think it should be. I think there could be humor to it, but I think this thing should be played very seriously, not for jokes. But anyways.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problem.
Why would...
All right, we're supposed to take these guys seriously. That's Peacekeeper. I always thought, like I said, Peacekeeper was DC's Punisher. So he's a jokester? Okay.
Someone put penises all over the beach.
That's why madmen do what they do.
Oh my gosh. You could put this dialogue right in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. That's another thing. Like, it's just so generic. It's so freaking generic. Like, these characters could be Guardians characters. They're not even written specifically to themselves. Like, it's the freaking Guardians. James Gunn didn't even go, who are these characters? What are these characters? Write these characters as, individuals. He just kind of turned them into the Guardians characters. I'm sorry, man. If anybody praises this movie, I don't know, man. I think James Gunn is effed out his welcome. I just let him do Guardians movies. I think the use of the song "I Don't Want to Do Your Dirty Work" no more. I thought but James Gunn's good at that. But also, wouldn't you expect that from a James Gunn? Like, you get pop culture songs and place them perfectly within a scene or whatever. That's his thing. I'm sorry, Harley Quinn would be dead. Okay. Amanda Waller's gonna get punched. All right, this guy's gonna get eaten by a. I haven't figured out if the shark is bad CGI yet. Okay, so let's make this really edgy. So this is gonna be rated R, right? You can't get away with this. So maybe they're gonna make it uber violent.
Well, that's kind of a thing.
Okay, here's big screen worthy. So they show a lot of blood and stuff. So yeah, this is gonna definitely be rated R. So I don't know, maybe in the context of an R rating and things that we haven't seen, maybe the tone will feel different than a Guardians. I'm not sure. So that was like a flashback or something like that's how she got out of that, because she's got that red dress on, right?
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
I'm gonna get you out of here alive. Okay, so okay, what they're gonna show next, I have a real problem with it. And what the first Suicide Squad did wrong is what this one looks like it may be doing as well. Is I don't think that they should be fighting like majorly powerful entities. Like fighting a shark guy, maybe. But wait till you see this.
Oh my God, we've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit.
That's Starro. Like Starro is like worthy of like Justice League, and I know they threw Starro in because they were like, oh, it's stupid, it's silly, it's a giant star. I thought like Starro could be an interesting character. I think you'd have to change it drastically, but because doesn't he kind of can become like there's little Starros, they can become face huggers and they can control you and stuff like that. I think, if you did good art direction with Starro and you played it up to the max of what he could do in a scary, powerful way, I think you could make him worthy of a Justice League villain. He was the first villain in the first Justice League, the Brave and Bold. So I thought, like, I think Marvel would have figured that out. They would have probably brought Starro into a Justice League story or something. But I don't know, man. Suicide Squad, most of those guys don't have superpowers. Like, they're just thugs, with like some superpowers, but nothing capable of Starro. And hasn't this been done to death?
Like angels are smooching all over us.
It's like angels are smooching all over us. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna come back and see what you guys have to say about this. I I was not. Look at me. I'm in the bored position. I'm like, yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, Starro's a. I mean, the visual of the character, I agree, looks silly. And so what they did in this movie is so James Gunn could get his yayas off. He's like, oh, he's a silly looking character, right? So he fits right in with all these other silly looking characters. But to me, I think that Starro could be a terrifying character. And if you're going to do like an alien type of invasion story, I think Starro is really cool. I think you could do some freaking aliens type shit with it. Like, yeah, I think so too. Like, I don't know how the Suicide Squad are gonna, like the last one, they were like fighting some kind of goddess or something. Like how do you fight something that's so super powerful? Let the Justice League do that stuff. Like, I want to see like kind of a good like shoot 'em up like heist type of thing with Suicide Squad. I don't want to see like super aliens and stuff like that. I want to just see like cool stuff that they could actually fight. Yeah, Stallone does the shark voice. Yeah. I don't know, man. If it's free, if it was on the Disney Channel, it was free, maybe I would watch it. I'm not going to pay for it. I got sucked into Suicide Squad, the first one, and I thought it was just bad. John Cena eating a bag of dicks would be funny, to be honest. Aren't there like little candies called bag of dicks? Apparently, James Gunn is a one-note director. So I think it's just going to be R-rated. It's going to be like an R-rated Suicide Squad. Vigilante is Punisher. Vigilante was that guy on a motorcycle with a cowboy hat, wasn't he? They changed him later though, right? But wasn't the Vigilante was that guy with like the scarf over his mouth and like the Lone Ranger hat, and he drove a motorcycle? Maybe they did change him later, and he became the guy on the motorcycle with a motorcycle helmet on. Who was Peacekeeper then? Peacekeeper is what, the comedian from The Watchmen. So then what's the difference between the Peacekeeper, the Punisher, and the Vigilante? They all seem like the same character, essentially. Yeah, but they're all like the same jokes. They're bad dick jokes. Yeah, Chris says it's R-rated. I didn't really look into the movie too much. All I did is watch the trailer, I think, when it dropped the other day, and just thought, like I said, if it was free, I would watch it. But it doesn't seem big screen worthy if they're going to drop it in the theaters, because the thing is, like Guardians is an extravaganza. It's like a feast for the eyes. This is not. This is like normal type level people doing normal things. I would like to see them just like have to get something or grab somebody from behind the line, from like enemy lines, and bring them back over, or just like some kind of real simple plot, but then like bring some like superhuman aspects to it and some fun, comic book action adventure stuff, but not the Guardians. When the general public is better than Hollywood mega budget productions. Yeah, it looks like TV. It looked like about the same budget as Winter Soldier and the Falcon. I think Andrew meant sarcastically, haha, quirky. Okay, so you guys are saying the same thing. Yeah, the CG is kind of bad. Yeah, I'm tired of the blue filters too. Yeah, I thought what was the movie with the female vampire? You know, I thought at that point it was kind of an art direction. What was that movie called? With the chick vampire slayer. Yeah, Cliche Squad. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know what the polka dots do. I know like a lot of this stuff. I read this as a kid, but I don't, didn't retain. Those gloves cost $50,000. I think you're talking about Peacekeeper. And of course, they'll make jokes at his costume's expense. That's a way to do it. I've tired of everything needing to be quirky and ironic over overly dark. I just want a good, serious action drama for once. The thing is, this is how you do it. This is how they used to do it, okay? So if you're going to make an R-rated film, make an R-rated adult type film, right? You can have some jokes in it. Like 48 Hours had jokes in it. Lethal Weapon had some jokes in it. But for the most part, it's kind of like a heightened action adventure kind of buddy or cop film, right? So you do that, or you do it like Big Trouble in Little China. What they used to understand, and also what was cool about the first Guardians, I felt like James Gunn got it, is it didn't feel, it felt a little ironic, but not to the extent of being overly so. And it just kind of worked. But what they do now is like Big Trouble in Little China, everything was matter of fact. Like they just went with it. They didn't kind of wink, nudge to the audience all the time. And actually, having said that, the first Guardians does do that. It references itself quite a bit, but for some reason it actually just works. And maybe it's just the spectacle. Maybe it's just because you like the characters and all those things just fit right. Because it didn't work the second time out. I didn't think the second Guardians worked that well. So maybe it was just the perfect storm. Everything just lined up for that first movie. Because the second one I thought looked like a parody of the first. And then this looks like a watered down version of it even further along. So what they do now is, instead of being like very matter of fact and being very just direct with the world, like there's nothing ironic about like Big Trouble. Like they just kind of move with it and everything's real to them. They don't wink to the audience like, isn't this weird? This is strange. This is odd. Like they just kind of move with it. And films like that would do stuff. They would have like crazy premise, crazy idea, and then they would just kind of move with it. But they wouldn't feel overly like they had to make fun of it so that the audience would buy into it. And the first one I noticed that did this as a trope or as a way to sell to what they think is a more contemporary audience, a more, I guess, cynical audience, is Joss Whedon. And Joss Whedon did it during Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he would kind of nod to something weird. Oh, it's a hairy guy. Oh, it's a werewolf, and then they would make some kind of joke at his expense or whatever it was. It would be self-referential and they would make a joke. And I think the psychology behind that, the reasoning behind that was like, they're going to make the joke that you were already thinking of, right? So instead of you saying it out loud because you were thinking it, they're just going to beat you to the punch, right? They're going to say it So then we can dispense with all that. You know, we can go, okay, we're all on the same page. This is silly, right? We're saying this is silly. But as soon as you start doing that, the level of drama and the trying to convince somebody of your world, of your characters, goes bye-bye, because you're not supposed to take it seriously. The characters aren't even taking it seriously. So like in Big Trouble in Little China, those characters are earnest. They're honest. They're dealing with situations. They're not like, you know, being ironic with it. They're not, you know, being, you know, quirky's okay, but they're not being ironic. They're not saying, isn't this stupid? Isn't this dumb? Isn't this silly? And I think that modern filmmakers feel they have to do that. Otherwise, people aren't going to buy it. So you have to point out to the viewer that it's dumb. Look how dumb this is. Yay, it's dumb. And then you move on. Without having faith that you can just build this world and then convince people of the universe, and then have them buy into it. Like, do your homework, do some work. And I think that on some level, it worked back then, but we're 20 years after Buffy and stuff like that, and they're still using the same ideas and same tropes. I think somebody has to, you know, change it. Like in Black and White, it is, we're not saying it's ironic, or we're not saying it's silly or anything like that. It's kind of just, it is what it is. It's very matter of fact. So there are those like Big Trouble Little China things that happen, but the characters just go along with it. It's kind of like, I always thought it was like the Three Stooges, right? So the beauty of the Three Stooges is that their humor isn't all any of those things. It's not snarky, it's not ironic, it's just matter of fact. And they never laugh, and they never make a joke out of it. They play it completely straight. That's how you do these things. It's the perfect example of how you do it. Those guys are in ridiculous situations. They're hitting each other in the heads with hammers. They're ironing their arms with hot irons. There's all kinds of craziness going on. Bricks fall on people's heads. Like, there's all kinds of things that are completely ridiculous, but they play it straight. And those characters never laugh. They take everything seriously, man, to a fault, man. Those guys are like deadpan. The most ridiculous situations are happening, and those guys never crack a smile. They're always playing it straight. And I think that's how you should do it. And I would like to see some filmmakers go back to that, because I think it would be very refreshing to have a show that wasn't snarky and ironic. It wasn't like Hollywood saying, modern day people, you know, they're not going to get it because it's silly and ridiculous. I think they will. I think if you get actors that can pull it off. Look how silly that first Star Wars was. Look at how silly the first 3 Star Wars were. Those guys, they fucking pulled it off. Those 3 actors, Carrie Fisher, what's his name, Harrison Ford, and what's his name, Luke Skywalker guy. Those guys, I've seen their test footage, like when they're reading it, and those guys, like when what is the guy that plays Luke? I'm sorry, man, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Somebody in the chat help me, because it's gonna torture me. But anyways, I saw his reading for the part of Luke Skywalker, and when you watch him, even in that, Mark Hamill, thank you, Mark Hamill. You see the sincerity, man. You see he sells it, man. He's talking about like crazy ass shit, like this universe, this star, this ship, this whatever, just crazy ass dialogue. But man, he is so freaking earnest with it, so sincere. Pulls it off, man. Without Mark Hamill, they would not have had Star Wars. That guy understood the tone, and man, he sold that. He sold it. And then, you know, as the series goes, he becomes more of that wise sage. But it's still never ironic. It's still never, you know, played for laughs. It's freaking serious, man. And you buy into it because of that. There's some serious drama, but there's still an awful lot of silly shit. There's a giant slug. Carrie Fisher's character strangles a giant slug with a chain. That's fucking out there, man. If they made that now, they would make a joke at its expense. They wouldn't play it straight like that. It's pretty crazy. And also the reason I don't like it is because Hollywood or whoever's making this stuff is also saying that people aren't going to buy that. You know, like it's too silly, it's too campy, it's too corny. So then they have to rebrand it with snark. But I think when you go snark and you go this route, also what you're doing is you're never going to get the drama. You're never going to be able to create those type of characters because that reality isn't there, because everything's just, it's ironic. It's a joke. It's, you know, how do you take that seriously? So you're never going to really have that level of icon with that type of tone. All right, man. I could talk all day about this stuff. I love the creative process. I love storytelling. Yeah, I think what Men in Black did, that was good, and that's what I'm doing with Black and White as well, is you had one character that was completely straight. He played everything dramatically straight. There was no jokes, right? And that was the Curtis, no, what is his name? Tommy Lee Jones character. Brilliant. So they understood that guy, and if he cracks a joke, then it's really, really funny, but they played that guy straight. So it was the other character, oh my gosh, I can never come up with names, but he's the guy that was the jokester, but also it was never at, like, the jokes were never really, they didn't ruin the world. I don't think they weren't that ironic. So it wasn't really like too much of a wink, like this isn't real. It was more like, holy shit, can you believe this? You know, that type of stuff, you know, versus, you know, like finding holes in the concept or the ideas or making fun of it. He would make fun of, like, he'd be covered with goo or something like that, but he wouldn't be going like, look at, that's a fish person. Isn't that's crazy. Or look at that guy, his head just got blasted off. Now he's growing another head. Isn't that strange? Isn't that weird? You don't find this odd and off-putting? You know, it was none of that. He just kind of bought into it and then moved on. Will Smith, thank you. William Smith. So I think they kind of understood the tone and how to make those things work. And I think modern day film is kind of that Joss Whedon. Like, I give him credit for it because I think he was the first one that I really noticed that was doing that, like just really self referential and ironic. And I think it's just kind of built off of that. Yeah, it was a straight buddy cop movie in a strange setting. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. I think sometimes too, like the jokes become almost self-evident. Like you don't have to go, wasn't that a joke? Like the stuff now, like, isn't that ironic? Isn't that's a joke? Like, like it just kind of happened. It wasn't like telegraphed or like overly played up. Like, we're pulling your leg here. It just was played straight, man. Shadowhawk, love your art. Where's my black and white 2? Working on it now. You guys won't be able to see it because of the way the camera works, but here's a cover. Here's a cover to black and white 2 in pencil form. You can't see it. Get it. Let's read this because Spirits Car usually has a good insight on things. Another great example, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Yes. Bob Hoskins was brilliant cast as a straight man who played the wildest, silliest of scenarios with complete seriousness. That's how you do it. When he starts talking about like that his brother was killed by a tune, like, and then with the woman, you wouldn't have bought into that drama if they did it ironically. You know what I mean? Like you bought into that drama. His girlfriend, all that stuff. Like you wouldn't have bought into that if they played it like they do modern day stuff. So I think in the long run, they're shooting themselves in the foot because I don't think you're going to have endearing characters like that because they shit on the drama. As soon as you build the drama, you shit on the drama. That's how these movies are done. There's drama and then there's a joke. You know what I mean? But the joke is usually at the expense of the drama or takes away from the drama somehow. And I think the older filmmakers understood that. I don't mean to sound like an old man. I understand the merit of the idea. I do. And I'm not saying that you can't use it from time to time, but I think it's really overused. Checkpoint says, did you see that funny thing that happened? Exactly. That's kind of what they're doing. Blue Samurai, playing straight with something ridiculous is good comedy, but few people get it anymore because it's self-evident. You don't have to go, isn't this weird? You don't have to do that. It already is weird. It already is strange. You don't have to like, it's almost insulting. Isn't this funny? You're a green guy? You're a blue fish person? Wow, that's weird. Yeah. You know what kind of worked is Hellboy. Hellboy didn't, they didn't play it ironic. There was a lot of weird stuff. Like the first Hellboy I thought was pretty good. It was played all straight. And so like the drama worked too. Like all the characters when they had like their flashbacks and stuff like that. It all worked. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't resist. I think modern writers don't have faith in their own stories. I completely agree. So they undercut the drama with a joke in case the attempt of the drama fails. Wow, better said, but that's exactly what I was trying to say. You summed it up way better than I did. Yeah. So anyways, you guys, this was Morning Hullabaloo. Everything stinks. Well, I just want to bet. I want these things to be good. I really do. I thought Marvel Universe stuff was pretty good at the beginning. They started getting very formulaic. I think they have an opportunity now to break the formula since they're going into a new series of films. A lot of people fear, me included, that they are going to go in the wrong direction, possibly, maybe more woke or political, which is, agenda driven, I guess is more the word. And we'll just have to see. I hope they don't, because that's a whole nother problem right there. but equally as insulting, I think. Glorious stream. Yes, indeedy do. Well, it's insulting, that's for sure. Yeah, no one gets self-evident stuff anymore. We used to not have to think about subtle things. I miss when people got things without neon signs. And sometimes you can hold up a neon sign and go, hey, here's the joke, It can be all the above, but I think that it's just way overplayed, and it becomes like a one-trick pony, like Suicide Squad. We'll see. We'll see what the next Guardians is like. If it's just more of like Guardians 2, and Guardians 2, I kind of said it, but I'm going to say it again. It was a parody of 1. Like, none of it felt real. None of it felt like it was important. Nothing felt tangible. Nothing felt dramatic. It was just one level, and that's problematic. And I think that James Gunn, if he's not working in a vacuum, he might be able to change, because I think he has the skills to do it. He was pretty good at world building. I think that first Guardians was pretty good at world building. My fear is that he's going to get lost in the world building, though, and forget about the character stuff and the good drama. Oh, thank you. The real Steve Dye. Good show, Art. Have a great day. I will. I don't know, for some reason, I think that's the way Steve Dye talks. Yes. Probably cooler than that. That was me trying to do a cool voice, by the way. It's because most modern artists are talentless hacks. People aren't hiring these days for talent. I don't know. I think there is a lot of talent out there. I just don't think that those guys are either not getting the jobs. I mean, when you have these directors writing their own material and doing a shitty ass job, you have J.J. Abrams and the bad reboot guys, like, just writing and rehashing. Like, dude, there's talented people out there. Start going outside your little pressure cooker of ideas and start working with some talent. I assure you they exist. But I just don't think anybody's willing to give up power and control. I think they want to keep their little universe intact and keep control of it. I let that joke be self-evident. I did laugh at it, though. Yeah, I think when you can see people like J.J. Abrams just becoming more about building, Bad Robot than making good films. Like Spielberg had Amblin and Lucas had Lucasfilm, but I think they still wanted to, at least they were attempting to make good films. I don't think J.J. Abrams is. I think he can. I thought Super 8 was probably his best movie, even though it was still a contrivance of a bunch of old Disney films and Spielberg films. But at least it was an interesting 2 hours and felt somewhat original. All right. Well, it is almost lunchtime. I'm gonna skedoot my boot and go have lunch with my lovely wife. And books are still going out, you guys. The Chrono books are still going out. So if you order a Chrono book today, they will go out within a couple days. So Chrono Mechanics is near and dear to my heart. It is about time repairmen, and it is a humor book. So if you want to see me put my money where my mouth is, pick up that book. and see what lunacy is all about that doesn't wink, wink, and nudge, nudge to its audience. So that's Chrono Mechanics, and it is in demand on Indiegogo right now. And Black and White is a stone's throw away from a campaign. So I'm tightening some stuff up, finishing some stuff, just to give me confidence that I'll be able to fulfill quickly. We'll get the book done quickly and then go into fulfillment. So I want to put some time into to make sure I can kind of move along faster, because I am not, I am a pretty slow talent when it comes to writing and drawing. Inking, I can ink like the Flash, but those other two, a little bit more time. So anyways, thanks you guys. Thanks so much for the super chats. I do appreciate it. You guys are the best as always. Thanks for hanging out with me for Morning Hullabaloo, and I will see you again soon. Take care.